So George, is it true that you appeared in Star Wars?
That is actually true, Luke. I played a number of different droids in both The Last Jedi and the Solo Story, and believe it or not, my personal assistant and trainer was actually Anthony Daniels, Mr. C-3PO himself. But that aside, you actually worked on Batman with Heath Ledger.
It is true, George. I often work in front and behind the camera. But George, talking of films, is it actually true that you're an award-winning filmmaker? Your film was placed at both BAFTA and the BFI.
One of my proudest achievements, I suppose. But forget about that for a sec, because you are ranked the #1 Weller hair model in the world.
Well, George, it's true. Have you seen my hair, bro? But forget that. You mentioned that you wrote a book, and I know that you've written more.
I've actually got 3 books available on Amazon with more to come. But forget all of that, because you are actually an extremely unique guided meditation healing expert, and I've even heard many accolades from many individuals whom you have transformed to bring them into a much happier, more content state of mind.
Yeah, George, but forget all that. We have to get on with the show. I'd like to talk about the fact that women, in my experience, are the most incredibly unpredictable creatures on this God's green earth. You really have no clue what is going to happen next. I mean, you can literally, George, be the night before, right? You can be with your woman, right? And she could be like, it is over, it is finished. I never want to see you again. I want the keys, I want all my stuff.
And the next day it's like nothing happened.
It is done. I never want to see you again. You have broken my heart. It is over. You are nothing to me. Nothing to me. Even the fact we're living on the same planet, right, is too close. So you better think about moving to Mars, quite frankly, all right? This is where you're at, okay?
I'm thinking of going.
This is where you're at, okay? This is where you're at. And then the very next day, okay, you've gone to meet her, right? You've met in the park, okay? Picture the park. You're in the park. It could be a park like this, okay? You've got her stuff, you know. You've got the keys. You've got all her clothes she left in your wardrobe, you know. Her toothbrush, you know. It's all in there. Her rings, everything's in there, right? And she's running down. You see her. She's come out of the flat, right? Okay. She's come to meet you. Oh, hello, George. How are you doing? How you doing, my love? I've missed you. How are you? How's your day going?
Did I not say to you exactly this on the phone? So Luke called and he said, she's saying this, she's saying that, she's saying it's over, you know, it's really finished, this relationship that I'm in. And I said to him, yeah, but tomorrow, right, she'll probably call and, or you'll call and she'll speak to you like, you know, it's all completely fine and what's happened today never happened at all. Like you never had an argument, she'll just carry on like it's normal. Was that right?
Partially, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You were partially right. It wasn't that nothing had happened. We still.
But it went from let's never speak again to
let's work it out. Yeah. Yeah, and all I had to do was.
I was right.
Yeah. And
see, not that unpredictable after all, actually, because I said to him, "This is what's going to happen," and I was at least mostly right. I'll give it.
But can I just say something, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? I've just got to say, I was there and I was like, this is, like my head was like complete, like I was so convinced it was done, right? And the night before, you know, I couldn't really, you know, I was finding it difficult to, obviously to sleep. I had all these thoughts going on in my head. All right, you know, this is the situation and all the rest of it. And I was, you know, I was pretty broken inside, you know. I was feeling pretty broken-hearted about the whole thing. You know, I was trying to sort of tell myself positive things. Okay, maybe it's for the best. And, you know, I know, like, you know, I love the woman, but at the same time, you know, maybe there's too many difficulties between us. And I was really kind of trying to come to terms with this finalization. And then to meet her the next day and then just be put into this space of, look, you know, I love you and everything, you know, we're gonna be together and you know, George, I stood there and I was just, I just didn't know what to do with myself. I just felt like I'd just gone through some sort of weird mental Olympic sport that I wasn't ready for, and my whole brain was just exhausted and baffled. And
that's what women are good at.
I had no clue what was going on, and I was just like, what the fuck is this?
Well, there are lots and lots and lots of reasons. I won't give all of them. Women are fascinating.
You need to buy the book, guys.
But I will tell you one quick thing, which is that when a woman breaks up with you, women test men all the time. They're always testing. They're very good testers, right? They're exactly the kinds of people you should put into a new house and say, test it, make sure it's good before anybody thinks of renting it, right? But what they do is they test. And sometimes when they break up with you, they do it for lots of reasons, and one of them is to see how you will actually react. Now, sometimes if the guy breaks into a flood of tears, oh my God, please don't leave me. And he drops onto his knees. I can't live without you. And he's holding her around the legs, please. Then usually she's like, okay, actually, he's really weak on the inside. He's fragile. I don't want to be with him. And she actually leaves. Alternatively, if he becomes very violent and aggressive, she perceives it as massive neediness, massive desperation, massive clinginess, right? And it's scary. She's like, oh my God, I actually don't want this guy. Look, he's violent, he's threatening. If he can't be with me, he's impulsive, he can't control himself. That's not what she wants. She wants a man who's in control. So she is inclined to actually, yes, let's end this. And she'll try and get as far away from him as possible. However, if you're sort of like, you know what, okay, I'm not fully happy about it, obviously, but we can part ways, maybe it's for the best, or she at least reads that in you. She thinks, fucking hell, he's not that needy, he's not that desperate. Clearly he actually is strong enough to cope without me. He probably knows on some level that he can get other women, or he literally knows that he can get other women. And all of that makes you the kind of person who she actually doesn't want to leave. So one of the reasons she reacts that way is because of how you reacted. And that is one of the reasons I said to you, tomorrow it'll be fine. She'll be different again, because that's how you reacted to her. So there you go. That's a little bit of wisdom. Now, we actually have to round this up because the battery is going. The sun is rising. God is smiling. The heavens are opening up. So, what have we learned? Obviously, sometimes people say things that they don't necessarily mean. They say things that hurt people, but they didn't mean to hurt you. Come on, let's get along. Let's have a cup of tea. Let's just sit there and have a chat and be nice to each other and learn to love each other. And
we've also learned that emotions can sometimes get out of control, and people say things that maybe they think and feel in the time, but once they are in a different set and state of emotions, we start to realize that perhaps those things were not meant as truly as they were meant when they said them.
And you will also learn that if you want to learn more about, females and relationship and love and how to get along with, whoever it is that's made for you, she was made for you before time even existed. She was etched in the stars, and now she's here and you're looking at her and she's confusing the heck out of you. Well, you can read that book, what I wrote, because I wrote that book, right, about that sort of thing. You've read it. I've even read it too, because I wrote it. And there you go, you can get that. It'll be your favourite Christmas present, no matter what day of the year you receive it.
Happy birthday, George!
Bye, see you next time.